Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello and welcome back to the Surge walkthrough. Last time we finally finished up with research and development, although truth be told we will be going back there relatively soon because we do have to bring back the robotic leg to Maddie as well as explore a couple of areas. Today we are finally going to be tackling our fourth boss, but before we head anywhere we do have a couple things to do here in the operations station, including listen to an email and talk to Sally. But first, let's talk to Sally.
I'm so glad you're back. I can't imagine what it's like out there. The data I'm receiving, their cries for help, the fading signals, they're people. They're people and they're dying. And there's nothing I can do. I'm afraid. The situation's out of control. And it's getting worse. We have to do something. We need to release the lockdown on the executive floors. There'll be someone here who can help.
What if they do know about all this? What if they just don't give a shit and are trying to save their own skins?
I don't know, but I don't think so. This company was started to help people. We need to find a way to stop this and get help. That's what matters. The executive forum is our best chance. It's been in lockdown since it all went crazy. We need to get people out. People who can fix things.
Fine. Assuming I want to, how would I even get to the executive forum?
You're not gonna like this. There's no chance of getting through the usual way. But now that most of security is roaming the factory, their headquarters should be pretty much wide open, and it leads directly to the executive forum.
You're kidding, right? I'm gonna need more than a good hunch to walk through Security Central.
I told you you wouldn't like it. No matter which route you take, you'll need security clearance. And there's only one logical place to find that. Security HQ. I'm sure most of them are out on the floor or in R&D. This is your best chance, Warren. Take it.
Have you managed to gain access to any of the systems yet?
Not really. Most of the electrics are fried. The system seemed to reboot, but something's overwriting it. This isn't really my field. I'm lost here. We need someone who understands how it all works. Maybe they can break it down and call help in.
You ever heard of Project Utopia?
No, but then I don't know most of what goes on around here. Do you think it has anything to do with what happened?
I don't know yet, but something's wrong.
Well, just don't do anything rash, please. We can't afford to lose our nerve and play on a hunch. Not now. The board would know. If it's got anything to do with the current situation, we should try and inform them as soon as possible.
All right, I'm on my way.
Get out of there as soon as you can.
Also, you may have noticed just by my intonation and the way I'm talking, this is actually post-commentary, only for the first few minutes. I realized a few minutes in that my microphone wasn't actually recording, so my apologies. One last thing to do before we actually head out, and that is to listen to this next voicemail.
They think they're so
Have a nice
almighty.
day.
Yeah, I hope you're reading this, you tossers. Echelon 9, what a joke. You think they'd share some info out of professional courtesy, but no, classified. Bunch of butt munchers. I'm telling you, it's goddamn ridiculous. We're all doing the same job, right?
While I didn't appreciate his language at the beginning, I can't argue with anyone who decides to call someone a butt muncher. Sorry, it's the kid in me, I guess. I'm not always mature, and I don't have to be. I am going to show you the gear that I'm using relatively soon, but first we need to get past this security guard. And I wanted to show off a couple of things that I'll be using today, including the electromagnetic drone that I just used, but also the adrenaline shunt, which provides a type of bullet time. This is actually going to be very useful against the boss of this area because it's going to give us opportunity to watch for his attacks, get in between some of his combos, and focus on getting a particular part of his body cut. Fighting this one security guard is taking a little bit longer than anticipated. And I'm taking a lot more damage than anticipated. The nice thing is, once he's dead, we don't have to worry about going back to the med station because as soon as we actually get on the elevator, we're going to have access to one immediately. Security access to CREO 1. Nothing else to do but to go inside this elevator and I'll see you on the other side of the load screen. Here we are at long last in the executive forum, exactly where Sally told us we'd have to go from the very beginning. You can see a lot of large-scale rocket parts, an exolift that doesn't work. We also have this door right here, will not open just yet. We're gonna have to come around from the other side in a little bit. But now, coming through that security station, and we are already in the next med station. And we can talk to Sally again.
I didn't doubt you for a second. The executive forum should be just around the corner. Please be careful. You're so close now. First of all, it's crucial that you can move freely, or you won't go far. You'll need some kind of authorization. A code, or maybe a borrowed identity. Our primary goal should be to check on the board. And please don't take any unnecessary risks. I don't want to lose you. Not now. I've gotten used to you being around.
Where can I find the board?
Where do you think? In the boardroom. Did you really need to ask that?
What can you tell me about this sector?
I always found it exciting. The hub of CREO. Decisions made here affect the world, and we can find help here, Warren. I know it.
So where are you? You said you're stuck in management. I'm here.
When you break the lockdown, all the doors should open. I'll meet you in the boardroom once you've taken down the firewall. We'll finally be able to put an end to this nightmare.
I better get going.
Be safe. We're so close now.
Is it just me, or is Sally seeming less and less scared as time goes on, and now she just seems excited? Now granted, she gets to meet me, so, I mean, who wouldn't be? But right here in this case, this is going to be the next rig that we unlock after we beat the next boss. This is going to be the fourth and final rig that we're able to wear in this playthrough. But before we go too much further, let's take a look at the gear that I'll be using. I am using the Pax Imperator version 2.0. It is one of the highest damage weapons that I have. Also, the Volatile Spectre, because we do have some robots to kill, including during the boss battle itself. Anything with high elemental damage is going to do great in that fight. I'm still using the Gorgon set for the added stamina regeneration. As far as the drone module goes, I'm using the industrial electromagnet, although I do pick up another one in just a little bit. And as far as implants go, very similar to what I was using, except I did change up the health a little bit. I did add the adrenaline shunt for the added bullet time, and I have the kinesthetic amplifier so I can improve my proficiency in my single rate. Not a lot of healing here, just the metavoltaic and the one vital injection, but we should be okay with that metavoltaic.
Take care.
So in order to continue, we're going to go through this door,
Welcome.
and right away we do have several
Failed
security
to
officers, so we're going to have to deal with them
recognize
one at a
authorization.
time
Please report to security head at earliest
in
opportunity.
the towering
for new
eye. And right
ID.
above the door, Echelon 9. In the very first email that we picked up at the beginning of this episode, we actually heard someone talk about Echelon 9. This is actually the core group of security guards that we're going to be facing, many of whom we've already been fighting. Pretty standard fights here. I'm not too concerned about getting the cuts. I don't have the aggression amplifier on anymore, so I won't get the added benefit of the health restoration, nor do I have a particular need for any of their cuts. At this point, I'd really rather just get to the boss. Just a couple more in here. Pull one at a time if we can, and I am going to focus on the parts that are unarmored just to get the kills a little bit faster. Also, I did mention it when I was showing off the implants, but I am using the rig capacitor. That way I can store some energy in between kills. I can store a maximum of 30% as long as I haven't used that with injections or the drone modules or a finishing move. Last security in this room. I could go for the cut. I had to use a little bit of energy there for the metavoltaic, but I also just stored a drone charge, which will come in handy just a bit later. And it was at this point that I realized my mic was not recording. So I'm going to fix that now, and we'll be back with live commentary. So as you can see, my energy stopped about halfway through that first bar. Now, obviously, that's not 30%. I explained it before, but maybe it wasn't clear enough. The rig capacitors set a minimum energy. Now, if you use an injectable or if you use a drone energy that brings you below that minimum, then you won't actually shoot back up to the minimum. It'll just stop where it is. But over time, as your energy decays, it cannot decay past that 30% mark if you're using the XL like I am. But again, you can go below it if you do an execution or an injectable or use a drone module. Okay, so really over here, all this is just a way to get around the particular enemy. It's just another way of doing it. You're going to see exactly where this comes out. Not really much of a shortcut or anything like that. In fact, got to worry about this guy. Back up. Let him do. Oh, he got a big slam there. Let's just go for the finish and top off with some metavoltaic. There we go. Smash through these. You do have an audio log. Let's listen to this.
That bitch just tried to get me killed. I know it. She made me go through security, right through their damn HQ. Said there was no other way. Sure, the vent system would have been a better option. Even the main entrance was less guarded. I nearly got killed because of her. I am so stupid to put all my trust in her. But who else have I got?
Under the stairs, we get our new drone module, the anti-kinetic shield. This is also a really good choice for the upcoming boss because he hits very hard. The anti-kinetic shield we have seen used many, many times before, and now you can use your very own one. And it actually only uses the same amount of energy, 24 energy, which is not too bad. Also, something to keep in mind, if you have your drones favorited, which I do recommend you do, you can actually store a charge per drone type. So for example, the electromagnet has a charge stored, whereas this one, the anti-kinetic shield, does not. But if I generated enough energy before we got too much further, we could go ahead and store that as well. All right, now let's go ahead and descend. We are going to come very, very close to the Black Cerberus, and we'll get to listen to a little speech after we deal with this guy, of course. Get some more health from that, which is perfect. Here at the crossroads, we can go right. It'll be a dead end for now, but we can get some scrap at least. This exolift does not work just yet, so we'll have to come back for that. And if we just keep going, another dead end, but for more scrap. And just outside here, as soon as we drop down, you can already see the enemies lining up. That is the next boss.
Copy that. Right, the network's still down. That means no internal sensors or cameras, but we did just get a power spike from one of the service elevators. That means we have an intruder on this floor. I want additional forces to the boardroom right away. Nothing's to get through. In the meantime, you two, go and check out the area around the elevator. Coordinates have already been sent. No games, no warnings. Take down any unauthorized personnel immediately. Well, what are you waiting for? Move out.
And the reason I'm just standing here is because if you actually go down now or before he's done giving his speech, you will fight all of those enemies, and there is no benefit whatsoever. But with that, those enemies have now left, and we can take on the next boss, which is Black Cerberus. Now, pay attention to what is on the opposite wall. Those are intact PAX machines, the very same ones that we fought in the beginning, although these are fully operational, so they are going to have much more powerful technology. During this fight, and I'm just going to explain it now before I go down there because it might get a little hectic. During this fight, once you knock off some of his health, he is going to run back there and he's going to summon a PAX machine. You then have to fight the PAX machine, kill it, he'll come back out, and you do that 3 times. Unless you actually find a way to disable their mechanism that would actually bring them in. In that corner, and right next to me here, are these 2 large white cylinders. If you use the PAX, the first one that comes out, to actually fire missiles at these silos, the other 2 PAX will not come into play. Not only does that make your life a little easier because you can focus on the boss quickly, but it is also the only way to get the hardcore kill, if you will, and that is to get the entire set of the Black Cerberus armor. if you miss out on this encounter, you cannot get the Black Cerberus armor until New Game Plus or beyond. Also, if you want to get his special weapon, the Judge 2.0, and if you want to get his arm schematic, you have to get the arm cut off Black Cerberus. So while you're fighting, you want to focus on his weapon arm exclusively, which is one of the reasons why I brought the adrenaline shunt. It might make it a little bit easier for us to target a very specific body part. Here we go.
Lay down your weapons and come peacefully. Or don't. It's just the same to me.
Right away, I'm going to start targeting. Whoa! You don't see that move too often. But I'm going to target his arm. I'm going to use the mechanized counterweight. Let's go over to the adrenaline shunt. Here's the first PAX phase. So we just have to hit him 3 times in order to get him into his enraged mode. There's 2. Oh, not doing the triple threat like I thought you were. Okay, and now we're gonna stand right in front of this silo. And as soon as he fires a rocket, we didn't get it. We didn't get it. I thought we did. Okay. Come on, do it again. Okay, there's one silo gone. So let's charge him. We want him to stop doing rockets at this point. In the meantime, I have no problem there. Oh, no, 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 no. Wrong way. I want you to jump the other way. At this point, I need him to get into the center of the arena. I don't want to kill him. I just want him to get into the center. And you're gonna be bad. Not gonna try and knock him down, but I might try and get some free energy here. So I can at least top off some health. Okay, at this point, let's get a little bit of distance going. All right, I would love for you to lunge at me. Okay, that should be enough. Let's go through his legs and charge the silo. Oh, you're not really cooperating. Okay, we're gonna have to play a little bit of cat and mouse here. That's okay. Just bait him all the way down as much as we can. And now, oh, geez, don't climb him. Now run, 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 run. Why? Okay. This is not usually how this ends up going. Not usually. Let's get him to follow, follow, follow. Even more. Okay, now run. At this point, he definitely should... No! Definitely should just lunge at me. Oh, what a troll. Okay. I don't want to run too far, or else he's going to use the rockets on me from this side, but if you would only jump at me from here, that would be absolutely ideal. Okay, actually, you know what? I have an idea. Nope, that's fine. That wasn't my idea, but that works too. And there it is. So now we just need to kill him and then focus on the Black Cerberus himself. Okay, both of his leg armors are off. We can just... No. That's going to be a rocket, probably. We're too far. Maybe not. Okay, that works for me. Bait the triple if we can. There it is. Okay. And as much damage as we can do. Okay. Not bad. Not bad. We just have to go through one more cycle. But that's a bad place for you to be, probably. But if we can carefully bait it, there it is. Okay, we should be able to kill him here. Get up. And there it is. Let's get a little bit of health and let's finish off Black Cerberus. It is just a matter now of focusing on that arm. Watch that. You don't want to get stunned by that at all. Okay, good hit. Watch the combo. I'm gonna get hit by that, yep. What do you got? That's a good one. Couple of hits and then get out. And I use the adrenaline shunt, not an ideal time, but we're gonna get a couple of hits in. And then out of there. No big deal. Okay, getting a little bit risky, but that's okay. Doing all right. What do you got for me? Oh, the big slide, big slide. Now, we have to start saving some energy for the cut, because it is coming up soon. So I'm not actually going to focus on any more implants. It's coming up real soon here. Okay. And we're going to know if we did it perfectly if we get the full set and the Judge 2.0, and I already saw it on the ground. And just watch as the rewards pour in. The leg gear. The head gear. The body gear. And then, as we pick up the loot, the arm gear, and most importantly, the MG Judge version 2.0. If you don't get the arm gear, and if you don't get the 2.0, that means most likely you didn't do enough damage to his arm specifically. It can be frustrating, and I know many of you have actually complained about this hidden loot mechanic of the Surge, and for the most part, I've actually disagreed. I enjoy it, but this is one example where you can do everything almost perfectly and still not get the 2.0 and not get that one piece of armor simply because you didn't do enough damage to the arm. But let's take a look at the Judge 2.0. It already is upgraded to Mark III. It is 96 damage, very high proficiency, lots and lots of elemental damage, and it has an attached energy focuser that projects a contained plasma field around the cutting edge of the axe that can generate a powerful energy spike, launching electrified flares at enemies. Oh. If you don't have fun with this weapon, I don't know who hurt you, but I apologize on their behalf. Okay, Black Cerberus is done. We got all of his armor. We'll be able to craft that later. We got his special weapon, but we are not done yet. There is so much more that we can now do. So much has suddenly opened up. Get the scrap hiding in here. Now, just inside, we get a level 10 conduit. We can go ahead and overcharge this, and then listen to what happens.
System error. User profile cannot be loaded. Profile loaded. Welcome, Captain. Your equipment has been unlocked.
Your equipment has now been unlocked, and the equipment that they're referring to is our brand new security rig that is waiting for us.
Authorization. Please report to security head at earliest opportunity for new ID.
And here is our brand new security rig waiting for us right in operations. The CREO ex06 security rig. You know what? We're actually going to put that on right now.
Your safety.
And we can now spend just 5,000 scraps to get it, and this will improve our rig from 12 to 16 potential implant slots. Absolutely incredible. Huge amounts of opportunity for different builds here. Not to mention, you're now red. And we can now enter any security door. But we are not done. We're actually going to go back to the boss arena. And you know what? Let's practice that. All right. Took a little bit of damage, but that's okay. Where we're going, there's actually no enemies at the moment. That's just a quick way back to operations. We'll just go up top here. Grab some more scrap. We also have an email. I'm going to listen to that really quickly.
I know the world seems to have stopped watching, and maybe that's the issue. We've made some decisions. Decisions I'm not proud to say that I was originally part of. But we wanted to do our best. What do they say? The road to hell is paved with good intentions. Well, Ours certainly were. Even those who I believe have now gone too far, they were still doing it for you, for mankind. But looking at the big picture, they lost perspective. We lost perspective. It's why I believe it is my duty as a citizen of this country and of the world to bring to your attention utopia. Unauthorized, unsanctioned, untested. Designed to replace resolve, though instead of proper channels, it has been fast-tracked through the back door. You need to know what this will do. What this will do to you all. Utopia is...
Utopia is what? That item up there we're going to be getting momentarily, but let us test out a brand new security rig.
Clearance confirmed.
We can begin. Take a look at so many new areas. We could go up, but we have too many things that we want to go and do now that we can finally access all those security doors. But before we even go and do that, not only do we have an audio log, but we're actually going to jump over the side and land safely down below.
I know the boys are laughing at me about this, but this is how it starts. It's the small things. It might just be stolen office supplies to them, but what next? I have a duty to find a culprit. Besides, they may be satisfied with staying where they are, but I have ambition. They'll be laughing on the other side of their faces when I'm the one calling out the duty roster.
I think I've tracked the source of some of our current security problems. You may be aware of the recent increase in missing material and tools, plus the episode last Saturday of what we can only assume is sabotage. I'm led to believe Dr. Chavez is covertly working in the facility. Though I have tried to bring this to the attention of the board, every time I seem to be stonewalled by Mr. Bottom and Mr. Fox. Without further authorization, my hands are currently tied.
Bottom and Fox, there's those names again. That is exactly who Chavez has sent us to give the encrypted file to. But now we have our very first Mark V injection, a vital injection V5. Going to heal a lot of health for us. Taking a very long exo lift up. Armory ventilation. It does say operations is this way, and indeed it is. Let's just deal with this smelter bot. This, by the way, is a certifiable robot killer. Oh, that was a bit wonky, but it still worked in my favor. And there we go. You are dead. Be sure to check all the rooms here. Get some scrap from that drop. Turn our lights on. It's a little bit dark. Looks like we have an elevator to the right, but we do have one of these bots to deal with. All right, let's put the judge to work here. Go ahead and stay topped off using the metavoltaic. So operations would go that way. But we have a lot more to explore up here, including this little section right here. Now, what I should have said before I rushed into that room was, hey, be careful, because it's going to get pretty dangerous. But actually, before we even go into that room, go ahead back here. Let's grab another V5 implant. This time it is a Vital Boost V5. Going to give us a lot more health. Now we can very carefully approach that next room because we are about to start encountering a lot more of the Black Cerberus type security guards, the ones that actually have a similar weapon to the judge, but it is actually a lesser version called the Adjudicator. So if we want to get that weapon as well, even though it's not as effective, want to go ahead and let's see, are we going to be able to pull you? And we pull you without your RoboDog friend? Well, only kind of. All right, come towards me. Oh, watch the slide. We don't want to get hit by that. And And watch it. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's one way of being careful. We can just hop down the exo lift. All right, let's try this again. And did you go all the way back? You probably did. I don't want to lose my scrap if I can help it, but worst case scenario, if we do, it's not the end of the world. There's a really good hit. Let's back up. I'm gonna keep topped off on my health. Good hit, good hit. And let's just keep going. Okay, we got the kill, not the cut. That's all right. There's gonna be plenty more where that comes from. By the way, they also are wearing the MG Cerberus gear, which is separate from the Black Cerberus. So again, if you want that alternate armor set, be sure that you're farming them appropriately. Okay, there's my scrap back. Don't get hit by that. And Robo Dog. This shouldn't be too bad because we have a lot of elemental damage here. There we go. And you know what? Just for good measure, why not add a little adrenaline shunt? Still gonna take damage. And you just fall to your death? Or did you just fall to your nothing? Okay, never mind. You're still alive. You're still alive. But we got the ancillary core, and now here's that item that we were looking at. We can grab, it's just another Vital Boost V5, so we've already had several of those, and now we can actually just hop down. This is where we entered the Black Cerberus room, and we are right back where we started. Now, if you'd like to actually see the adjudicator, I did actually get the cutoff when I was coming back in order to get my stuff. So here is the MG adjudicator. This is what those Cerberus type securities are using. Again, very, very similar to the Judge, just a much lower quality and no elemental damage to speak of. So really, there's very little reason for you to use the adjudicator over the Judge, other than it does have more slash damage and thrust damage. So again, going to do better against your unarmored enemies. Right, so as I said, going this way is going to progress the area and is going to progress the story. That is actually not what we want to do just yet. Instead, now that we have the security rig, we want to start doing some backtracking, because there are several areas, including areas that have brand new enemies and armor sets that we want to go and collect. Now, I'm not going to be able to get to them all in this episode, but I'm definitely going to start and show you the first one. Way back in the abandoned production line, we had not only a security gate, but we also had a box that wouldn't open unless we were at suit level 55. We now do exceed that, so we're going to make our way all the way back to the beginning. And for the next little bit, including the end of this episode and the beginning of the next, we are going to be making our way to all the different security stations.
Good day, sir.
So the run back actually won't take all that long. Now, all of these at this door here and this exo lift, we are going to be accessing later once we go back to that elevator just on the other side of Black Cerberus. Here we are back in Central Production B. I actually have no need to actually kill anything. Not even going to stop at the operations bay. Instead, we are just running right through Material Depot. There are doors scattered everywhere, and it's going to take us a little bit to get to them all, but I want to show you what you can expect to find even in the very early sections. Now, some of them just open up a room with some loot. Others actually open up entirely new areas with several rooms, new enemy types, and if you want to get the Chrysalis armor, one of my favorite armor sets in the entire game, as early as possible, we can now do that thanks to the security rig. Once again, just bypassing all the security, any robo dogs that may have shown up, and we're going to take the maglev back to abandoned production.
Next stop, abandoned production. Rocket assembly 3.
And from here, if you do not recall, the security door was actually down in the basement here. So once again, just bypassing everything. Don't have any need to kill these guys. Although I do need to show something off with the Judge v2.0, and that is, it does actually send out a wave of energy, but it also costs energy. So we need to build up some energy here. And might as well finish off this guy as well. Can't hurt anything. There is the kill, perfect. And now, watch when I do a combo now that I have some energy built up. That ray of energy goes for quite a distance. I don't know exactly how much energy that takes because there's no way to see how much energy you currently have, but it takes about a bar or so. It does a lot of elemental damage, so if you're fighting a robot and you have time to get that combo off, now unfortunately it is a bit of a slow weapon, so you might not always have that luxury, but it will do a lot of damage to any sort of robotics. I would say let's try it against this drone, but that might be just a tad overkill. What we could try is actually bait an attack, and what if we just back up? And... well, that was fun. Unnecessary, but that was fun. And here is the security door right here.
Identity confirmed.
And inside, just a small room, we get Vital Boost V5, another Vital Boost V5. Once you have the security rig and once you start getting higher up in your suit levels, that's when you're going to start to find some of these really high-end implants, the ones that are going to give you just crazy amounts of health for the end game. But we're just running through the rest of this basement, running past all the enemies because the next part that we want to explore is just up here because we want to grab that station that was too high level before. Let's just go ahead and kill a couple enemies here just because we can and because they're a little bit in the way. Not too worried about damage. These guys would take a little bit to kill me. There's that beautiful ray. You know what? Let's see what kind of damage we can do from here. 48. Okay, it's not a ton of damage, but also it is energy damage, so it's going to do more against any sort of robotics. But right in the next room, just deal with this guy. Okay, now. Let's not get carried away. Deal with you, and here it is. Now, many of these, they look like they might actually be attached to conduits, but instead, these are actually just supply depots. So as we overcharge this, it's not going to open up a door. Instead, this itself is going to open up. And inside, we get 2 nanocores. Now, this is the first time we've seen nanocores. This is going to allow us to upgrade our armor and our weapons from Mark IV to Mark V. Now, we don't have anything that's even upgraded currently to Mark IV, so it's going to be a little bit. But once you're at Mark IV, then we can use the nanocores to go up another level and begin the upgrade process almost all over again. You cannot skip directly to Mark V, however. Even if you have enough nanocores, you need to be at Mark IV before you can use them. Now for armor, I believe each armor piece does take 2 of these cores, whereas a weapon actually takes a total of 3. So as is, we could upgrade a single armor piece, but as far as a weapon goes, we would need to get 1 more and then upgrade that to +4. Alright, that is it for Central Production B. There's now nothing left here for us to come back and do. Kind of nice that we can check that off, but let's head back to Central Production B.
Next stop, Central Production B. Personnel arrival.
Now, I know that you got a very long episode, the one before this, but this one is probably going to clock in a little bit shorter because I'm actually going to get back to operations and wrap it up there. The next episode, we are going to be doing the rest of the security doors that we have passed, those in Reserve Biolabs, those in Central Production B, as well as those later on in the Circulation Tower. There's going to be a lot of new gear, a lot of new weapons, and we're going to have a lot of fun playing around with a couple of new builds that I have in mind, especially once you see the Chrysalis armor. But that is going to do it for this episode of the Surge walkthrough. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you learned a little something, and I really hope you get your hands on your very own Judge v2.0. But if you learned something, please leave me a comment below, let me know what you learned, and if you have your own tips or tricks, let me know that as well, and I'll try to incorporate it in an upcoming episode. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.